So 5D says the sum of the first n terms of a geometric sequence 9 plus 6 plus 4 is greater than 25. Calculate the smallest value of n, which probably makes this true. This is how they would have wanted to word the question. But basically we are looking for the sum of a certain amount of n numbers that will allow the sum to be greater than 25. So we're looking for n for which the sum is greater than 25, but we want the smallest n that makes this true. So we can use the formula. R in this case will be equal to 6 divided by 9, which you can simplify to 2 over 3. And this just comes from 6 divided by 9 term 2 over term 1. Since we are told it's geometric, we don't need to prove this by 4 over 6. But 4 over 6 does give us 2 over 3. Anywho, we have our equation A, Rn minus 1 over R minus 1 should be greater than 25. Then we have the value of A, which is 9. And 9, you have your open brackets, 2 over 3 to the power of n, which is what we're looking for, minus 1 all over 2 over 3 minus 1. Then we say this has to be greater than 25. Then we can multiply both sides by this denominator and then divide by 9. But when you multiply by this denominator, it's important to recognize that this will be negative. 2 over 3 minus 1, that will just be minus 1 over 3. And minus 1 over 9 divided by minus 1 over 3 is just the same as 9 multiplied by minus 3, which is minus 27. So let's just write that for now. Minus 27, 2 over 3 to the power of n minus 1 and close brackets. This has to be greater than 25. Divide both sides by minus 27 and the sign changes. And then we're left with 2 over 3 to the power of n has to be smaller than 25 over minus 25 over 27. And then if you want, you could take time looking for the value of n, substituting, but if you want to do it quicker, you just take the log of both sides. So this side would be n log 2 over 3 smaller than log of 25 or minus 25 over 27, like that. And then you can divide both sides by log of 2 over 3. Why I prefer doing this over just taking the instant log is because you can see what actually happens when we take the log. So here the log of 2 over 3 is basically going to be a negative number, which is going to cause the sign to change. And the answer that you get from this should be something like 6.41. So 6.41. So when n is 6.41, that's when we get an Sn of 25. But if we want it to be greater, we're going to need to pick a whole number because we know patterns don't exist or can't be described by these decimal values. We need whole numbers to describe our positions. So only when n is equal to 7, because n cannot be 6. When n is 6, it will still be less than 25. So when n is equal to 7, that's when we'll have our sum of those first 7 terms being greater than 25.